Welcome back to the hero's journey. I am your empowerment guide and fellow superhero, Venus the Goddess. This is Arc 8, the formative years, how childhood shapes you. This is a pre recorded lecture, so please feel free to pause at any time to take a break. Just note the time, that way you don't lose your place. Okay, let's begin. Objective. The objective of this arc is to understand how childhood experiences, cognitive development, trauma, attachment, and core beliefs shape your adult identity and relationships, and to provide a path toward healing and reparenting your inner child. Introduction. Childhood experiences shape adult behaviors. The way you attach to partners, the way you react to criticism, the way you handle conflict, the way you see yourself. All of it is rooted in what you learned before you can speak. Adverse childhood experiences echo into adulthood, often repeating the same painful patterns unless you learn to see them. This arc is about tracing those echoes back to their source to understand because you can't change what you don't know. Cognitive development. Why we can't blame the child. Childhood has its own way of seeing, thinking, and feeling, and there's nothing more foolish than the attempt to put ours in its place. Cognitive development. Cognitive development is the progressive growth of a child's mental abilities, that is, thinking, reasoning, remembering, and communicating. This development is continuous from infancy into adulthood and influenced by environment, education, and culture. Play is the work of childhood, sorry. A child's mind is not a miniature version of an adult's mind. Their brain is still developing. They reason differently than adults in wildly illogical ways about problems whose solutions are self evident to adults. Contemporary neuroscience reveals that the human brain continues to develop well into the 30s. So show yourself grace if you made mistakes in your 20s. Your brain was still developing, especially in areas controlling judgment. For an example, consider the classic question that is posed to teenagers. If your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? Their agreeable answer isn't just defiance, but a reflection of brain development. The parts of the brain that drive emotion, impulse, and reward seeking mature earlier than the prefrontal cortex, which is the area responsible for judgment and impulse control. As a result, teens are more likely to take irrational risk to gain peer approval. This neurological reality is frequently misunderstood. Adults often project mature psychology onto children, causing them harm. Children may be given adult responsibilities like parenting other siblings or exposed to mature themes that they can't comprehend, then they're labeled fast or too grown for mimicking behavior. When a child experiences trauma, it physically rewires the developing brain. The brain gets stuck in a state of high alert, making the child hyper vigilant to potential threats, which in turn weakens their ability to distinguish past threats from present safety. This survival mode disrupts thinking, learning, and emotional regulation. This disruption can lead to a cascade of challenges, including emotional and behavioral issues, poor academic performance, and difficulty maintaining healthy relationships. The profound effects of childhood trauma often extend well into adulthood, shaping a person's long term well being. A child's purpose is to be a child. It is a misconception to think that a child's purpose is solely to grow up. Children are children. They should not be held to adult standards. Understanding cognitive development is crucial because it replaces projection with protection and misplaced expectations with appropriate support. Children represent one of the most underprotected groups globally. We must build environments that nurture a developing mind, not force it to carry burdens it isn't neurologically wired to bear. This understanding is the foundation to self compassion. Don't blame yourself for the past. You were just a child experiencing the world through the innocence of a child's mind. Compassion for your inner child. Exercise. Carry a picture of yourself as a baby or a young child in your wallet. You can even use like a school picture. You can carry it in your wallet or on your phone. And whenever you engage in negative self talk or self judgment or harsh criticism, take out the photo and ask yourself, would I speak to this child this way? Is this child worthy of such words? Use the answers to reframe your inner dialogue with compassion. Your inner child deserves kindness. Okay, let's take a pause before moving into the next subject matter. Please feel free to get a drink of water, sip some tea, stretch your legs. You can practice meditation, practice your breathing, or simply enjoy the silence. This arc is going into a little bit of heavy material matter, so subject matter. So definitely take breaks as you need them. Okay. Okay. Childhood trauma, the wounds that shape us. The greater a child's terror and the earlier it is experienced, the harder it becomes to develop a strong and healthy sense of self. Childhood trauma is a deeply distressing or harmful experience during a person's formative years, that is, the ages of 0 to 18. So, from the time that you are born until you become, quote, legally an adult. Um, Childhood trauma is a deeply distressing or harmful experience during a person's formative years that threatens their physical or emotional safety. It can severely impact a child's psychological well being, thus altering how they develop and cope with the world. Childhood trauma shapes adult perspectives and behaviors. The trauma of childhood is not that we were hurt, but that we were alone with the hurt. Key types of childhood trauma are: one, abuse. Examples are physical, emotional, or sexual harm caused by a caregiver, that is a parent, or someone who is responsible for raising the child, or someone that the child knows and trusts. Second is neglect, which is failure to provide basic physical, emotional, or medical needs. Third, household dysfunction, like domestic violence, substance abuse, mental illness, or incarceration of a household member. Fourth, community or school violence, like bullying, gang violence, school shootings, or neighborhood crime. Fifth, sudden loss or tragic events, such as natural disasters, severe accidents, life-threatening medical procedures, unexpected death, or unexpected death, or the death of a loved one. I think I have a typo here. I'm not sure what I was trying to say. Categories of exposure. So there are three of them. One is acute, which means it is a single isolated distressing event. For example, a severe accident like a car accident that may result in the death of a loved one, a sibling, or a parent. Chronic. Chronic is repeated, prolonged exposure to stressful events, such as ongoing domestic abuse. And domestic abuse can be witnessed, so a child may witness domestic abuse, say, for example, their parents abuse one another, or they can be victims of abuse themselves. So some children are beaten, um, and that sort of stuff. And then there is complex. Complex is exposure to multiple traumatic events, and it's often an invasive interpersonal nature. So a lot of things are going on at once. So it could include domestic violence, drug abuse, gang violence. It's just sexual violence or verbal abuse. That is also a form of violence. So you have to truly, be mindful of the things that you say. Um, we learned in ARC 5, I think it is, the power of words, that words have the power to cause severe harm. So even calling a child stupid or dumb is a form of domestic violence. Um, yeah, so please, like we really have to do better when it comes to our children and just how we treat each other regardless. Whether you're a child or an adult, we all are worthy and deserving of love. And so we really have to put forth the effort to be kinder to one another. Okay, common signs and symptoms of childhood trauma. One is emotional. So the signs are persistent anxiety, depression, severe mood swings, emotional numbness. Second is behavioral. That includes aggressive outbursts, withdrawal from social activities, risky behaviors, difficulty forming healthy attachments. And third, physical. That is unexplained aches and pains, chronic stress, um, responses, sleep disturbances. Before you judge me, try hard to love me. Look within your heart, then ask, have you seen my childhood? You are not to blame for what happened to you, but you are responsible for your healing. While childhood trauma has profound long term consequences, healing is absolutely possible. Recovery often requires professional help to process past events and learn healthy coping mechanisms. Therapy, support groups, and trusted relationships can provide the safety needed to heal. I am not a therapist, but the hero's journey can help sufferers of childhood trauma in three specific ways. One, awareness. Two, reframing. And three, reparenting your inner child. And as you go through these arcs, you're going to learn how to become aware of yourself. You're going to learn how to become aware of your triggers, of your trauma, and you're going to learn how to reframe negative thinking, negative core beliefs about yourself and the world. And also, you're going to learn how to reparent your inner child through compassion and kindness and love. But if you are someone who needs that extra help, please do not feel afraid, do not feel ashamed of seeking out professional help. Therapy is here to help you. It's not therapists, their job is not to judge you. They're there to listen and to provide you with the resources that you need, the therapy that you need to be able to have the life that you deserve. You deserve to be happy. You deserve love. You deserve joy. You deserve peace. And there are people out there that can help you to achieve that. Don't deny yourself that because of some stigma or fear. Okay? All right. Okay, loves, we're going to take a brief pause before moving into the next subject matter. Like I said, this arc does cover some heavier material, so please feel free to take breaks whenever you need them. I like to take breaks between subject matters, just also for myself. Please take this time to practice breathing, practice meditation, or simply just enjoy the silence. Get a drink of water, sip some tea, stretch your legs, okay? Okay, beloved, let's move into the next subject matter. Attachment styles, your blueprint for love. Humans are social creatures from birth. Babies develop an intense bond with their primary caregivers, typically their parents, for survival. This powerful bond is called an attachment. Infants become attached to those who are comfortable and familiar to them. Caregivers provide babies with a sense of safety and security through their warm touches, soft soothing, and nourishing feeding. As we mature, our need for safety and security shifts from our parents to our peers and then our romantic partners. I apologize if you hear any background noise. I'm in an apartment and sometimes the neighbors can be a little loud. Okay, anyway, what is learned in the cradle lasts to the grave. What are attachment styles? Attachment styles are deeply rooted, often unconscious patterns of behavior and emotional response. They're formed in early childhood based on how well primary caregivers meet our needs. Attachment styles significantly influence how we behave in adult relationships. They shape how we relate to others, handle emotions, and view ourselves. There are four main types. One, secure attachment style. Secure attachment style involves the childhood experience of a caregiver that is consistent and responsive. So every time, you as a child, as a baby, you cry, that caregiver is there to pick you up, to hold you, to soothe you, to calm you. They are reliable, and you begin to learn that that this caregiver is reliable. The adult pattern that persists because of this type of caregiving is you feel comfortable with intimacy and autonomy. You have trust in others, and you regulate your emotions well. Core beliefs that develop because of this attachment style are: I am worthy of love, others are trustworthy. This type of attachment style attracts love. Second is anxious or preoccupied attachment style. The childhood experience that cultivates this style is an inconsistent caregiver. So it is a caregiver or a parent that is sometimes loving and the other times they're distant. Um, for example, as a child, maybe you cry, and sometimes your parents will pick you up, and other times they'll just leave you alone in the room to just cry. And I know there's this belief that you just need to let a baby cry, but what people don't understand that this is actually very harmful for the child. And the enduring pattern that follows these type of children into adulthood are that they crave closeness but they fear abandonment. They are clingy and they seek validation, and they often worry that their partners will leave them. And in full transparency, this is actually my attachment style. um, my parents, no matter how well-meaning they may have been, they unconsciously taught me that you know that they taught me that basically um their caregiving is inconsistent, and it creates this core belief that I'm not enough, or that I'm not good enough, and that I must earn love in order to keep it. So I'm always, basically like chasing love, and it's something that I'm working through, and the hero's journey has helped me to make a lot of progress. Um, Also, this type of attachment style chases love opposed to attracting it, it chases it. The third attachment style is called dismissive avoidant. This attachment style involves the childhood experience where their caregiver is emotionally unavailable or rejecting. So they may reject the child. For example, you may have had a parent that was just kind of, um, I want to say like stoic, maybe a parent that never really was involved, kind of just stayed away, or even if they were there, they didn't encourage, use, expressing your feelings. They were just very emotionally available. This pattern persists into adulthood, and it creates adults who avoid emotional closeness. They prioritize independence because they had to learn on their own. They had to basically like raise themselves, and they dismiss their own needs and others' feelings because they were never taught to, express their feelings, or they were never taught that their voice is valuable. The core belief that it develops with this type of style is that love is not safe, and I'm better off alone. This type of style runs from love. And finally, the fourth style is called fearful avoidant. This is this disorganized type of attachment where the childhood experience is that their caregivers may have been frightening, or abusive, or traumatizing. And What this does is that it persists into adulthood and it creates adults who want intimacy, but they fear it. And their relationships are often chaotic and they push people away and then they pull them back in. So it's a constant cycle of push and pull. And they develop a core belief about themselves and others that, I need love, but love hurts. And I'm trapped. I feel trapped. They feel unworthy of love and that others are dangerous. And this type attachment style pushes love away opposed to attracting it. The healthiest attachment style is the secure attachment style. Did you know? Studies show that babies who are held often in their first year develop more secure emotional attachments, stronger immune systems, and healthier brain connections. This loving touch positively influences their DNA and gene expression, promoting long term emotional and cognitive well being. Conversely, infants who lack physical contact experience higher stress, which can lead to developmental delays and emotional challenges later in life. So, the next time someone says you can spoil a baby with too much holding, remember you're not spoiling them. You are literally wiring them for resilience, health, and secure relationships. You can never spoil a baby. You can never spoil a child. Pick that baby up. Don't let that baby cry. Hold that baby. Love that baby. Kiss that baby. The good news, attachment styles are not fixed. They can change through self awareness, secure relationships, and intentional healing work. As you build self worth, you will gradually become more secure in yourself and with others. In later arcs, we are going to learn how to build high self esteem and self worth. We also are going to learn what love truly means. And you're going to learn how to develop self love and self compassion through practices like self care that will help you to change your attachment style. So if you don't have a secure attachment style, don't worry. Change is 1000% possible. Okay, let's take another break. Please use this time to practice breathing or get a drink of water, stretch your legs, sip some tea, or simply just um, enjoy the silence. These type of pauses help for new information to absorb better in your brain. Okay. Okay, beloved, let's begin. Core beliefs, the silent scripts. Beneath attachment styles lie core beliefs, or absolute, often unconscious truths formed in childhood. They are rigid assumptions we hold about ourselves, others, and the world we live in, like I am lovable and the world is safe. Core beliefs can be positive or negative. Negative core beliefs fall into categories such as helplessness or failure. With this category, some thoughts are or beliefs about yourself are I am a failure. I am not good enough. I am weak. Another category is called Unlovability. So, beliefs or thoughts that you may have are: I am unlovable. No one wants me. I will always be rejected. Another category is worthlessness or defectiveness. So you may say to yourself or believe about yourself, I am bad. I am toxic. I don't deserve to live. Another category is called mistrust. That is thoughts or beliefs that are like, I can't trust anyone. Next is abandonment. So you may think or believe, everyone I love leaves me. Another category is called abuse. And some thoughts or beliefs are, people always hurt me. Finally, the last category is called emotional deprivation. And some thoughts or beliefs are, no one listens to me. No one really cares about me. Children depend on social connection for their survival. They are dependent on a caregiver to provide safety, security, love, and nurturing. When the caregiver is inconsistent, unpredictable, neglectful, or abusive, negative core beliefs can form. We carry these core beliefs into adulthood. Often, our adult relationships mirror the experiences we had with our parents. We unconsciously choose partners that feel familiar. It's not necessarily that we like want these relationships. It is an unconscious programming, and we just have this tendency as human beings to um, choose things that are familiar to us. Even as little kids, as children, they often like to eat the same types of foods. They like to watch the same movies over and over again, or even like to hear the same stories. Like if you're reading a book, they like to hear the same stories over and over again because of the familiarity. Core beliefs can be triggered in our adult relationships. When a current event, such as a partner needing space, triggers an old core belief, for example, abandonment, everyone leaves, your nervous system reacts as if the childhood threat is happening now. You may panic, cling, or fight, reinforcing the very belief you fear. It is an old wound speaking, not your current reality. Let go of what no longer serves you. Your nervous system is operating off of old scripts, old beliefs. And by identifying your core beliefs, you create liberation for yourself. The first step in changing core beliefs is awareness. It allows you to see that your reactions are not about the present moment, but about old protective patterns that no longer serve you. It's like almost like PTSD. I just think of like, say, a veteran. So the war is over. Maybe it was 20, 30, 50 years ago. But something as simple as a chopper, a helicopter going by can trigger. So the sound of that chopper going by, or maybe a movie playing in the background and they're shooting or whatever, it can trigger that old memory of, a time where you had to be in survival mode. And your nervous system can't tell the difference between the past or the present. So when it's triggered, your nervous system just reacts. So you're reacting to an old event, when in reality, at the present moment, you are safe. And with this insight, you gain the power to rewrite the scripts. Once you become aware of the core belief, once you're able to identify where this is coming from, you now have the power to change it. You now have the power to reframe Instead of, freaking out, you can tell yourself that this is just, an old script, and in this present moment, I am safe. I am safe. I am divinely protected. I am grateful. I am safe. Those are some affirmations. And if we work together, we can definitely come up with some great reframes to help you. Okay. All right. Let's take another quick break before moving into our final subject matter. Okay. Excuse me. All right, beloved. Let's move into our final subject, building a healthy relationship with yourself. Don't waste your time chasing butterflies. Mend your garden and the butterflies will come. You didn't choose your caregivers or your parents. How they treated you reflects them, not your worth. Even if you were deprived of love, you are still worthy of it. As an adult, you are now the source. Stop chasing and start cultivating. Chasing love, whether from partners, friends, or family, screams desperation and lack. Fear repels love. Trust attracts love. So we got to build self trust. You got to learn how to trust yourself. You have to learn that you are inherently worthy of love. And if you feel worthy of something, you never have to chase it, you never have to beg for it. Love doesn't chase, it attracts. You attract what you believe you are. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you feel worthy of. Do you feel worthy of love? The relationship with yourself sets the standard for all others. People treat you the way you allowed them to, which is how you treat yourself. If you learn how to treat yourself with love, kindness, and respect, others will learn how to treat you the same way. You will begin to repel those who don't treat you with respect and start attracting those who will. If you are someone who chases love, I recommend reading the book Love Me, Don't Leave Me: Overcoming the Fear of Abandonment and Building Lasting Loving Relationships by Michelle Skeen. Um, this book, I actually have a copy of it myself. Like I said earlier, I have an anxious attachment style, and this book was truly eye-opening and super helpful for me and my hero's journey. And I've made a lot of progress with learning how to attract love as opposed to chasing it, because that core belief that I developed because of my parents, again, I'm sure they were well meaning, but somewhere along the way, I learned that love has to be earned and that I'm not good enough. But it really helped me to shape those core beliefs and change them to the reframe that I am worthy of love. And again, when you feel worthy of something, you don't have to chase it, you don't have to beg for it. It's inherently yours. Okay. How to build a healthy relationship with yourself. Number one, through self awareness. Understand your attachment style and core beliefs without shame. It doesn't matter what, style or beliefs you have. Remember, you inherited those beliefs. They're not your own. You didn't create them for yourself. So don't feel, shame or judge yourself about something that wasn't even in your control. Just learn to understand them and to identify them so that you can change them. Number two, reframing. Reframing is, a practice that we learn through cognitive behavioral therapy in ARC 2, where you want to challenge your thoughts and reframe them. So every time a negative thought arises, reframe it or change it with something positive and empowering. Number three, positive self talk. Talk to yourself like you would talk to a beloved friend. Be kind to yourself. Use kind and compassionate speech. And again, if you find yourself having, trouble with that, try looking at your baby picture or a picture of you, like a school picture. Would you talk to your, younger self this way? Would you talk to, if you have children, would you talk to your own kids that way? Hopefully not. If you do, please, please put forth an earnest effort to change. Number four, spend quality time with yourself. Take yourself on dates. I don't care if it's a movie date, a coffee date. Take yourself out on a date. Don't feel odd or unusual if you want to, go out to dinner and go by yourself. Like bring a book with you, you can put your little headphones in, your AirPods or whatever you call them, and listen to some music. You can listen to, my arcs if you like. You can listen to this program, but, have the courage to go out and treat yourself, learn to enjoy being with yourself. That is, one of the first steps in learning how to love yourself. You got to learn how to become comfortable with being by yourself. Number five, keep promises you make to yourself. So this is how you build self-trust. This is how you build trust within yourself. Trust is built through small, consistent actions. So, for example, if you promise yourself that you're gonna, go for a walk at 6 o'clock, go for that walk, and start small. You don't have to set goals that are extremely like daunting or intimidating. Start with small 10-minute goals. I'm going to take a brief walk or jog or whatever and start very small and then build from there. Number six, practice self compassion out loud. Say out loud, I am safe. I am loved. I am worthy of kindness. Practice speaking kind to yourself. Practice doing kind things for yourself. Treat yourself. Go buy yourself a little snack or something. If you were in a relationship with another person, how would you want that person to treat you? Hopefully kind, hopefully with respect. And if that's how you will want that person to treat you, treat yourself that way. It starts with you. All right. Conclusion. Every defense mechanism you developed was once a child's desperate attempt to survive. You were just in survival mode. Every core belief that limits you was once a lesson you learned to stay safe. Every attachment pattern that frustrates you was once a strategy for love in an environment where love was inconsistent. Healing your past does not mean erasing it. It means integrating it. It means building a secure relationship with yourself first so that you can finally receive the love you have always deserved. The blueprint was written in childhood, but the pen is now in your hand. You can rewrite the script. Next arc, you're going to learn a new practice to help you build high self esteem and high self worth. Homework. Okay, so for this arc, I want you to, number one, and you can do this in your hero's journal. I want you to identify your attachment style and at least one core belief. Write it down. No judgment. Remember, this is a judgment-free zone. We do not judge ourselves here. Just name them. Just name the attachment style and name the core belief. And whenever negative core beliefs arise, such as I'm not good enough, I want you to pause and remind yourself that this is an old wound speaking. In this present moment, I am safe. Number two, I want you to also write a short letter to your inner child. One paragraph. It doesn't have to be a full page. A paragraph is 5 sentences. But if you want to write more, you can. I want you to write to your inner child, and um, I want you to say to your inner child everything you needed to hear when you were little. Say it in this letter. Number three, I want you, and you can do this one right now if you want to. I want you to give your inner child a great big hug. Wrap your arms around your body, hold for 30 seconds, and breathe. As you hold yourself, say out loud, I am here. I am not leaving you. I love you. You are safe. Finally, I want you to take yourself on a date or treat yourself to something nice this week. I don't care what it is. You can buy yourself a new dress, a new pair of sneakers, take yourself to the movies, take yourself go-karting. Do something that, you enjoyed as a child. Like do something fun, you know, and just have the courage to do it by yourself. And don't, like I said, don't feel silly because I take myself on dates all the time. And a lot of people go out by themselves. It truly is the foundation for self-love. So do something nice for yourself this week. This assignment is due 1 week from the completion of this video. Nothing has to be turned in. Nothing will be graded. This is simply for your own personal practice. So, you know, write it in your journal and just put it, somewhere safe. Keep your journal safe. It's no one's business, okay? All right, beloved. Now I'm just going to go through the credits real quickly. The research for this presentation was conducted using a variety of sources, including authoritative books, scientific publications, and AI-assisted research tools used to synthesize and verify complex information. If you would like to learn more about any of the subjects presented, I encourage you to do your own research. This presentation contains images and diagrams used under the fair use for educational and commentary purposes within the original work. All visual media are the property of their respective creators. No copyright infringement is intended. Last but not least, offerings. I do offer private sessions, so if you would like to book a virtual one-on-one mentoring session with me, you can email me at thethegoddessxx@gmail.com. Sessions are 60 minutes at a rate of $150 per hour. Voluntary offerings. If you would like to donate to this channel, my Cash App is money sign thegoddessxx. All right, my beloveds. Um, Thank you for joining me for this arc. I love you. And I look forward to seeing you next arc. So for now, I want you to have a beautiful, happy, joyous, bright, brilliant, extraordinary day. Remember, you are deserving of love. You are worthy of love. You are lovable simply because you exist. Now go be the amazing, beautiful superhero that you are. All right? Bye.